meeting gets started, I guess this is me calling this meeting to order. I would like to mention that public body comment was inadvertently left off this agenda and will occur between the adoption of rules of order and the adjournment, so the public will get a chance to speak. With that, if you could please rise. I would like to take a moment to remember the 79th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor with a moment of silence. Thank you. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today, a new group of individuals, beginning a new journey together. Please help bring unity to this group. Give us the knowledge and guidance to know that while we won't always agree, we must conduct ourselves with integrity, professionalism, and be respectful of one another. We have been blessed with a great task, to be a voice for many. Please let us never take that task lightly. Grant us the grace and humility to be the kind of public servants you would have us be, dear Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Before we begin with roll call, we have one county board member that is not present due to COVID, which normally audio communication with the county board member is not permitted unless there's a 2/3 vote of the county board. However, due to COVID on March 16, 2020, during the duration of the COVID-19 gubernatorial disaster proclamation, the provisions of the Open Meetings Act requiring or relating to in-person attendance by members of a public body are suspended. Specifically, the conditions in the Open Meetings Act limiting when remote participation is permitted are suspended. So pursuant to governor's order, it is permissible for the county board member to communicate with us by audio. The county board member is Barb Bennett. We're going to call her and put her on speakerphone for the roll call, and then she'll be able to be present for the vote.
Hi, Barb, it's Jessica. I'm going to put you on speakerphone now for the county board meeting. Okay, can you hear me, Barb?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right, I am going to take the roll call now. Earl Baker.
Present.
Kenneth Barr.
Here.
Barbara Bennett.
Here.
Mark Bennett.
Here.
Paul Candidate.
Here.
Brian Kaufman.
Here.
Dennis Sternovich.
Here.
Jesse Durbin.
Here.
Gary Gergany.
Here.
Rod Height.
Here.
Larry Lenz.
Yes.
Patrick Lyons.
Here.
Terry Metzger.
Here.
Bobby Orman.
Here.
Gary Patterson.
Here.
Derek Piercy.
Here.
John Poe.
Here.
Robert Simpson.
Here.
Jeff Slifer.
Present.
David Switz.
Yep.
Don Tate.
Here.
Lynn Williams.
Here.
Okay, at this time I would call for nominations for county board chairman.
Nominate Bob Gorman for county board chairman.
Second that.
I nominate Brian Kaufman for county board chairman.
I second that.
Okay, both Bobby Orman and Brian Kaufman have been nominated to be the next county board chairman. And I will first take a roll call vote. Well, I guess I need to have a motion to do a roll call vote.
Move the nomination be closed if that's
Perfect, that would be appropriate, Mr. Tate. Thank you. Okay, since we do have a member voting by phone, these votes will be done by roll call. And the first vote, I would just like to do Bobby first and then to, yeah, okay. Okay, the first roll call vote will be to elect Bobby Orman as county board chairman. A yes, of course, would mean yes, and a no would be no. Okay. Earl Baker.
Yes.
Kenny Barr.
no.
Barbara Bennett.
No.
Mark Bennett.
Yes.
Paul Candidate.
Yes.
Brian Kaufman.
No.
Dennis Sternovich.
No.
Jesse Durbin.
No.
Gary Gergany,
Yes.
Rod Height,
Yes.
Larry Lenz,
No.
Patrick Lyons,
Yes.
Terry Metzger,
No.
Bobby Mormon,
Yes.
Gary Patterson,
No.
Derek Piercy,
Yes.
John Poe,
Yes.
Robert Simpson,
No.
Jeff Slifer,
Yes.
David Switz,
No.
Don Tate,
Yes.
Lynn Williams.
No.
Okay, we're tied.
Do you want to take the vote for Brian?
I will take the vote for Brian, yes. Okay, the next roll call vote will be for Brian Kaufman, Earl Baker,
No.
Kenny Barr,
Yes.
Barbara Bennett,
Yes.
Mark Bennett,
No.
Paul Canady,
No.
Brian Kaufman,
Yes.
Dennis Sturdivich,
Yes.
Jesse Durbin,
Yes.
Gary Gergany,
No.
Rod Height,
No.
Larry Lenz,
Yes.
Patrick Lyons,
No.
Terry Metzger,
Yes.
Bobby Orman,
No.
Gary Patterson,
Yes.
Derek Piercy,
No.
John Poe,
Nope.
Robert Simpson,
Yes.
Jeff Slifer,
No.
David Switz,
Yes.
Don Tate,
No.
Lynn Williams.
Yes.
Okay, we have another tied vote.
Let's take a short recess, make sure we get this right.
Okay, upon the advice of legal counsel, we are going to take a short recess. A 10-minute break. So we will adjourn again in 10 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna go sit on this outside.
Hey, I'm glad you came today. You got my opener yet? Did you? No, just, you're not going anywhere, are you? I just need before you go anywhere. Okay. Okay, all right. On the advice of council, we are going to essentially recess the board meeting, that's my understanding, until Wednesday, and pick this up Wednesday to do the vote for county board chairman and vice chairman. And we would open up, and I guess what, adoption of rules of order, and then we would continue now with public body comment?
Yes.
Okay. Any members of the public want to speak?
Yes, my name is Kirk Allen. I think you're going to find this is an in-person meeting under the executive rules, or the executive order rules, and the laws that change regarding the Open Meetings Act. Yeah, you can have a person call in, everybody can call in remote, but the head of the body or the legal counsel has to be physically present. This isn't a remote meeting. This is an in-person meeting. A person can be sick and call in, provided with the adopted policy that you have no adopted policy. Therefore, what has already happened is you've allowed a person to vote that shouldn't have been able to vote. That vote should stand. And I think an OMA lawsuit would prove that. You don't have anything on the agenda for Wednesday to adopt anything. It's too late to do that Wednesday. The law is crystal clear. This is not a remote meeting, and it's an interesting issue because we just sent this to a law firm up north and asked the question. When they rewrote the law, they didn't address the first county board meeting and how it's to be conducted in relation to the remote because there is no head of the public body. And the only provision for that to happen in a remote or call-in is when the head of the public body says, hey, because of COVID, we're going to do it this way. You have no head of a public body. So that provision can't be depended upon. And that's what the law firm even said. The other side of this, you have no adopted public policy for people to call in when they're sick. Therefore, they can only do it under the rules you have. You have no rules. She can't call in because she's sick. I know some may not like that, but that's what the law says. You already have voted. You already have nominated and voted. Technically, you have the proper votes for a chairman to be appointed. That's all I have. Thank you.
I just want to, I haven't looked at the law. I know that a lot of problems that the board has had have been legal problems about following the law versus not. And if in fact that is the law, whatever the law is, I just want to say the law needs to be followed. This board has got to set a precedent of following the law. Legal counsel has been an issue until now. This new board has got to follow the law. And I just want to strongly encourage that we can't start off on a foot of not following the law.
I've got a comment, John Pratt. The new portion of the Open Meetings Act that addresses the COVID issues, there's requires basically three requirements. One, that the governor declares emergency. He did that. Doesn't matter if anybody thinks it's legal declaration or not. He declared one. So that's checked off the box. Number two, the public body, the head of the public body has to announce that it's not feasible to have an in-person meeting. That hasn't happened. You don't have a head of the public body, and the head of the public body did not announce that it's not feasible to have an in-person meeting, obviously, because everybody's here. And number three, when the head of the public body announces it's not feasible to have an in-person meeting, they have to provide for contemporaneous access to the public that is not here to phone in, just like a board member is allowed under those first two conditions when they're met. Then, regardless of your policy, a board member can attend remotely. But you have to allow for the rest of the public to also attend and hear all the discussion. And that didn't happen. So you're missing two of the three requirements. And a new portion of the Open Meetings Act specifically passed to address the COVID issue. So I would humbly ask that you reconsider what you did, not reconsider, but permit the vote to stand and take out the remote vote.
I make a motion that we settle the chairmanship in accordance to the law and be decided by the law the way it's supposed to be.
You second, John, you second?
What's our legal counsel say?
My best advice is to recess this because this is a new issue. I just learned of the absence of the county board chairman late last night. It's the first time it's happened that I know of, and I make sure I give the right advice. And we are meeting Wednesday morning for the regular county board meeting. I want to make sure I give the correct advice in this. And trying to research on my phone is not feasible. I'd like to go back to my office and print out the statutes and examine it so that I give you good advice. I understand there's an argument that the executive order is invalid, and we need to make sure that that's the case before we move forward.
But wouldn't we be doing, Lynn Williams here, wouldn't we be doing that by, I think what these guys said were, I want to go by the law, but it's not on the agenda here, but I agree with you that Wednesday would probably be the best thing to do. And I want to go by the law, by the way. But how do we do this in a manner where we're within the law here and we do this Wednesday? Is there any way we can do that?
Well, all we're doing is recessing it, and we're already going to be here Wednesday to meet. So before the regular county board meeting, my advice would be, let me look into this, so I can give you the correct advice. I want to make sure it's correct, and before we move forward, and then the county board meeting can follow this organization meeting.
Okay,
Wednesday
so what
morning,
time would
that's
that
what we
meeting
do.
be before the regular meeting? That would be at 8 o'clock or something?
I suggest we have it at 8:30 prior to the county board meeting.
But then we would be in with the law, right? I mean, we would be...
Well, all we're doing right now is recessing it.
So
That's
8:30
my
right
advice.
here.
No, I got a question. Is this even legal to recess? Yeah.
Just, Nicole, is there someone you could call and get some advice on this?
Yes, and I need to go into my office and research it. I'm trying to do it here on my phone, and it's not feasible. I don't have a computer here. And I did not know about this issue with the county board member being out with COVID until last night. And then now we have a tie vote, so this is kind of a complicated issue that's not occurred before. And I want to be giving good advice and correct advice.
If we vote on their motion and it comes to a tie, what do we do then? Are we going to use Barb again?
Well, that's what I want to go back and research, and that's why I'd like to
I think it's going to
recess.
slide down the same again.
I don't think anyone's going to change their votes, so.
Motion to adjourn.
Why don't we re-vote and go around?
And we're not going to adjourn, we're just going to recess for now.
Okay, but we do have a motion.
Motion to recess.
Still have another comment.
Mr. Lyons?
Yeah, nothing to do with the vote. Is about the vote or is not about the vote. Board, we have got to reset. We have got to not do the things in the past that made everything go wrong. We've got excellent legal advice now where we didn't have it in the past. So that's been fixed. But the one thing that's absolutely got to be is everybody has to be honorable to their word. When they look somebody in the eye or they tell somebody they're going to do something, they have to do it. You can't start this board out this season by lying. That's one thing we cannot do. We have to work together to be able to serve as citizens of Shelby County.
Madam Secretary,
Can't lie. Thank you.
Madam Secretary, I just want to look at it this way. Let's say that come Wednesday, if Barb couldn't vote, but she's here Wednesday, what's the deal?
If she's here Wednesday, then there's no issue unless.
Well, there is an issue. We should have voted if it's if she couldn't vote today legally, this vote should stand.
If she cannot vote today legally, then the vote for Mr. Holman would stand.
This one would stand.
But I want to make sure that's the correct decision. So,
Can we recess till 11 o'clock, maybe? That gives time to pass some.
No.
We're going to recess for 2 days.
Not very recess, we go to 10:30.
Well, I don't care about that.
well, I suggested Wednesday mornings, we'll all be here anyway. We just start a half an hour early, recess this, start a half an hour early, complete the organizational meeting, and then go into the regular first county board meeting of the year at 9. Would be my suggestion.
Do you need a motion to
Well,
follow your advice?
there's a motion on the floor already.
Unless there's more public comment,
No,
then we could have a motion to recess if there's no more public comment.
Yeah, if there may, clerk, I'd like to just read into the record. Under section 7E, specifically paragraph 2, it gives actually a total of 6 prongs where it talks about this. The first one, as John mentioned, was the governor or the director of the Illinois Public Health has issued a disaster declaration related to public health concerns. We're not questioning whether an executive order exists. Okay? We know it exists. The legality of it's not the issue. Number 2, the head of the public body, as defined in subsection E of section 2 of the Freedom of Information Act, determines that an in-person meeting or meeting conducted under this act is not practical or prudent because of a disaster. You've not met that prong, because when they passed this new law, they didn't address that issue for this type of a meeting. You don't have a head of a public body right now. Number 3, all members of the body participating in the meeting, wherever their physical location, shall be verified and can hear one another and can hear all discussion and testimony. Number 4, for open meetings, members of the public present at the regular meeting location of the body can hear all discussion and all testimony and all votes of the members of the body, unless attendance at the regular meeting location is not feasible due to the disaster. We're not having that type of a meeting. If that's the argument you want to make, you had to have made this available to the public electronically. Number 5, at least one member of the body, chief legal counsel, or chief administrative officer is physically present at the regular meeting location unless unfeasible due to the disaster. Again, that one doesn't apply because you don't have a head of the public body to run that. This isn't a remote meeting. All votes are conducted by roll call, so each member on each issue can be identified and recorded. You've done that. When you back up to the regular illness section of section 7, the public body may allow a member of the body to attend the meeting by other means if the member is prevented from physically attending because of personal illness or disability. She has that right. If they wish to attend a meeting by other means, the member must notify the recording secretary or clerk of the public body before the meeting unless advance notice is impractical. A majority of the public body may allow that member to attend a meeting by other means only in accordance and to the extent allowed by rules adopted by the public body. Can anyone here tell us what rules this board has adopted for that provision? If you can't, your answer is right there. She can't vote. She can't attend because you've not adopted the rules to allow it. That's all I have. Thank you.
There are not rules under the order of business for Shelby County that allows audio voting. However, the 17th rule states that the rules may be suspended in any particular case by a vote of 2/3 of the members present. So if the decision is that this executive order issued by the governor is not valid, then what we would do is see if there's a 2/3 vote to allow Ms. Bennett to vote by audio.
Well, the suspension of rules, you first have to have rules. You don't have any.
Well, this permits this, the open meeting statute states that you may have audio voting if there are rules in conformity by the county board.
Right.
If you can vote 2/3 to suspend the rule, then you should be able to vote 2/3 to say we're going to permit by audio.
I hear what you're saying, but to suspend what rule? Not suspend the law. It's suspend the rule that's been adopted. They've not adopted a rule.
Right, so the rule way the county board has their order of business, they do not permit audio voting. So the rule would be that they do not permit it. If 2/3 of the vote of the board votes to suspend that and permit it, then she would be able to vote.
You're creating something by default, by no action. They have to first take action. The fact they haven't doesn't mean they have action and no vote.
So, Madam State's Attorney, so to the point of the rules, you said it's in the rules that there's a prohibition to remote voting, phone in, whatever, right? Is that what you're saying?
There's no prohibition, it's silent, so it does not permit it. It does not address remote voting.
Right.
And the statute says that if you...
So what you're calling for is you're calling for a 2/3 vote to suspend those rules.
That would be what the law is, that they could vote.
It's not in there, it's not written in there, so we're going to
Right.
suspend something that's not written, but it's a 2/3 vote to suspend.
Right.
Is that right?
Because it's silent, it's not allowed. Because the rules are silent, do not allow audio voting, then the rule right now is there is no audio voting. If 2/3 vote to suspend that, then Ms. Bennett can vote. We don't even get to that point unless, if the executive order is valid, the executive order suspends all of that.
So just to be clear, where is it written about suspending rules? Is that OMA? Can you cite that statute where that's written about suspending rules in this type of situation? I just want to be clear for the members of the body and members of the public that are here.
Well, first, the Shelby County Order of Business Rules, there are 21 of them, and Rule 17 says the rules may be suspended in any particular case by a vote of 2/3 of the members present. Also, under the Open Meetings Act, it states the same thing.
Take a vote.
Yeah, take the 2/3 vote. Just understand that if you vote in favor of the suspension, you're going to allow remote voting, then I'm concerned about OMA. So what we've really not allowed for the public to participate at the same level members of this body have the ability to participate, and I think that sets us up for an issue.
Take the vote.
So, and furthermore, as you take this roll call vote on the two candidates, I would ask that the question be Bobby Orman or Brian Kaufman, not simply roll call each one individually. Do you vote for Brian Kaufman or do you vote for Bobby Orman? Is it Bobby Brian? And that's the way it should be recorded. That's my advice. Thank you.
We still had a comment out there. Public comment. Did you have a comment?
Well, I thought originally you said that the board doesn't allow voting by remote. So to me, that's the answer to the question. Rather than arguing about, let's vote again, you're tabling things up that don't need to be tabled. The rule is that the board doesn't allow remote voting.
Good.
So that's the answer. That's my opinion.
There was no vote to suspend, so the vote didn't count.
Yes.
That's right.
I got it.
There you go.
See what the dialogue does? Gets to the answer.
See, if we were going to allow for that to happen, we should have done the suspension before the first vote was taken to allow for that to happen. Now, since that wasn't done, we're going to change it after the fact. I think that sets us up for another issue.
Good job. Take the podium, Chairman.
Sure, you.
Now, it seems like everybody wants to abide by the law, but it's not today. This is getting kind of the middle here. And we should recess. We ought to vote about 3 a.m. Votes never change.
Is there anyone that disagrees? You have no policy. Is there anyone that disagrees with that? If there's not, and you don't have a policy, can we agree that what happened should have happened and the vote doesn't count? That's not rocket science.
Not building a rocket here.
Hey, but for the last year, better, we whined that we didn't have any legal counsel. Now we have some legal counsel. She's helping us, she's guided us, and it's not the way everybody wants.
No, she did. She said exactly what the law is. You don't have a policy. That means it's prohibited.
But I haven't heard her say change her mind and go ahead and vote today, folks.
You already voted.
I heard you guys say it, I haven't heard her say it.
So say if, we were going,
You already voted. There was no.
Barb wouldn't be present. So therefore,
want to get opinions, you gotta come back.
Is there any more public comment?
I think that your advice is wrong. My problem as a regular citizen, you can't allow a board member to phone in and vote because under the COVID rules, because you didn't allow me to phone in and listen. Had you or the clerk or any board members made information available to me as a citizen where I could have stayed at my shop and worked and listened to this board meeting, then her vote would have been absolutely valid and would have counted under the governor's orders. But because that didn't happen, then you can't use the governor's orders to allow her to vote. And then you revert back to standing policy and standing board policy as to whether or not a board member is allowed to phone in and vote. That's how I understand it. I attend several meetings. Anytime our city council has remote, everyone is allowed to remote in. And because I wasn't allowed to remote in, I don't believe under the governor's orders that a board member could be allowed to remote in.
And they would post the notice of that remote meeting 48 hours in advance to apply to owners.
That is correct. Where the phone codes, login information, all that is made available. Certain things, even though the governor's order says we don't have to meet in person, certain things have to be afforded to everyone equally. Thank you.
I've got one last comment. This meeting was proper. And I agree, the attorney, state attorney, maybe take some time and review it. And the issue in my eyes now is, even if the board could have voted and gained a two-thirds majority to allow Ms. Bennett to vote, that did not happen. The board did not vote to suspend any rules or to adopt additional rules to permit the vote. Then there was 11-11 tie, 11-11 tie with Ms. Bennett's vote. So the only question would be, did the Bennett vote count? I say no, because the board didn't vote two-thirds majority to allow her to participate in this legally called and held meeting. And you have to take her vote out of the vote totals. Nobody can vote to reconsider the votes for chairman, because the only way that can happen is if, with Ms. Bennett's vote, if it is included in the vote total, the only way you can vote to reconsider is a person of the majority vote. So since there was a tie, there's no majority vote, nobody can even vote to reconsider. I say, and I'm not an attorney, and I'm not a board member, but I say the first question is, did the county have a 2/3 vote to allow Ms. Bennett to vote?
No.
If that's no, it's 11 to 10 on your first chairmanship vote. And you can't go back and say, well, you know, let's do it all again. It's already been done. Thanks.
Nicole. Basically, what we're arguing here is whether that vote counts or not. So you're going to go back and study and see if that vote would count. If it did not count, then we know who won, because it's a 12 to 10 vote. Or 11 to 9, I guess it would be. 11 to 10, sorry. So then we would have an answer before the start of the next board meeting. So we would not have to, would we have to come back in and read from recess then? And then have that, or would he automatically just become the board chairman, and then we would pick up and do the vice chair after that?
Well, this all comes down to the executive order, because the executive orders, if the executive order is invalid, then it's going to go one way, and if it's valid, it goes the other. So if the executive order is valid, then Ms. Bennett's vote counted, and if it's invalid, then it doesn't count, and then we don't have a tie. So I would like a chance, and I'd probably contact the Attorney General's office regarding it, and that's all I'm asking for, is that this be recessed until 8:30 on Wednesday morning, so that we can continue on with this prior to the county board meeting. That's all I'm asking for. It's just, both issues are, you don't usually have ties, we don't usually have a person that's out with COVID, and we have executive orders that are not normally in existence. It's new territory for us.
I got another question when would that mean that we could all call in and miss the next meeting and still vote, if it's okay?
If the executive order is valid, if you have an illness, it allows for the rules to be suspended as it pertains to Open Meetings Act. And it specifically says it's...
You keep saying rules, and I'm missing the rule.
It's referring to the Open Meetings Act, which limits when remote participation is permitted. Those rules are suspended if someone has an illness due to COVID.
Does she have a doctor's statement that she's got COVID?
I'm guessing yes.
Just call in and say,
I believe she was here.
It's just a question, trying to figure out if you could be here or not. If one can't, the rest of us should have that opportunity.
But you gotta have COVID for the governance law.
She
You
got
can't
it?
just have
Yeah,
employees.
he tested positive.
Did you see the test?
All right, I think the issue is the vote for the suspension should happen before, regardless of the virus or the egos, it should have been before the vote was taken to allow that to happen. I think that's just common sense. That should have the way it's been done. I think that's how you need to proceed. But the rule wasn't taken, or the vote wasn't taken to suspend. So that vote is tossed. It's 11-10. Mr. Orban is the new chair. We move forward with the vote of the vice chair.
Take your chair.
I would renew, my advice is to recess till Wednesday to make sure I'm giving proper legal advice. I don't want to advise the county wrong.
Vice chairman on the agenda, we're not going to address that either.
I think we should suspend or recess everything until Wednesday. Move forward, get the county board chairman selected first. For instance, if Mr. Orman is the chairman, then maybe the other person that was nominated for chairman may be selected as vice chairman. We need to answer that question first.
And vice versa. Mr. Orman named the vice chairman.
Right.
Well, we need a motion to adjourn until a regular meeting.
Recess.
Recess until next board meeting, or board meeting, whatever they need to do.
So if we have a motion to recess, will Ms. Bennett's vote be allowed?
That's what I want to look into. I want to...
No. Will her vote be allowed to weigh in on the recess vote, right? That will have to be voted on?
Yeah.
Yes.
The recess motion will have to be voted on. Will her vote be allowed on the recess?
Why don't we abstain from Ms. Bennett voting on this, and hopefully we can come to a majority agreement that we can recess.
Okay. So if the majority of votes is not to recess, we're moving forward this morning, right?
before I
Second motion and a second.
Did anyone vote to recess?
Lynn had made a motion to recess initially. You made a motion.
No, that's, Jeff made a motion a long time ago about something else.
Sure, okay.
Do this legally in accordance to the law to appoint our chairman, vote our chairman. John seconded.
What, did anybody make a motion to recess until Wednesday at 8:30?
There was a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we're going to do the motion that's on the floor right now to
No, discussions.
elect the chairman.
Do you need a motion to recess?
Do you want, I mean, I guess we should vote on Jeff's motion and John's second to vote on the chairman legally. And I will roll call that now. Yes, so.
What is legal?
Can you make a motion or something like on there?
Not on there.
Okay.
So, Madam Secretary and Madam Secretary, I think the county's code, we need to look at that immediately, 55, about reorganization. I believe the meeting has to happen today, on the first Monday of December. It has to happen today.
By statute it does.
Yes, so whatever, as far as pushing this off today, you want to recess for 1 hour, but it has to happen today.
First Monday after the election.
Yes.
Okay. I would suggest a recess until this afternoon. If anyone wants to make the motion. I would like to get to a real computer and not a cell phone to look into this. Yes. I suggest 1:30.
Nicole. 6 o'clock. Thank you, Mo. 6 o'clock. You can call me. Oh, 6 o'clock this evening.
I got another meeting tonight.
Let's take care of the motion and the second on the floor first.
Yeah, voting on that.
Okay. Jeff, could you please state your motion one more time?
I made a motion to elect the chairman legally. When the vote has been taken, whatever the law says is going to dictate the chairman. If we figure this out before 6 o'clock or whatever, before we come back to recess, we're fine. It's done.
And John seconded that motion.
So just a point of clarification, can we put motions out there that are on the agenda to deal with that? See, I understand all this motion stuff. I don't know that that motion is in order in this situation. A motion to adjourn or a motion to recess, I believe, is always in order, but I'm not sure these other motions that are on the agenda is in order. I understand my colleague or my constituents' issue there to get this done, but I think you just have to make a decision about this today. You have it on the agenda to select your chairman and vice chairman.
Okay, but I did make a motion to adjourn.
You can't reconvene within 40 hours of the day. The vote has to be done today to select your chairman and vice chairman. Guys, I'm going to make this. Okay, the bottom line is, it's state statute, this vote has to be taken today. Mr. Williams, please. This vote has to be taken today. You've got board members that have schedules. Today is the day. They've taken time to be here. You have members of the public that have taken time to be here today. This is not hard. Okay, this is not hard. Okay, guys, you've got to put this kangaroo and dog and pony show or whatever it is, fix these problems and move forward, or we're going to have 40, 50 members of the public here every time from this time forward, every time this body meets. The public in this county has spoken. They have flipped seats. There's a huge majority of one party over the other. They want this stuff fixed. Mrs. State's Attorney, please make a decision. If you want to recess for an hour, maybe. But we've got people that have jobs that have to be back. That's the problem. These morning meetings are reckoning for people to be here. Okay, we are here, we are gathered. Make this decision. We'll sort some of that stuff out later. But we can't be changing the rules as we go along. Well, the vote didn't turn out right, so we're going to vote to suspend the rules. That vote should have been taken prior to 9 or prior to the first vote. The vote to suspend, which would have been in order, is not taken in a proper manner. Every time that anybody that I've seen take the The vote to suspend the rules is done before the action is taken. It's that simple. This is not hard. The evidence has been presented throughout the morning by credible sources, state statute, and everything else, and this is the time to get this done.
David?
Move to recess on 6 p.m.
Sir, is that legal advice you're giving us, or what?
No, it's not like it's state statute.
No, I'm saying, I didn't know if you're the legal advisor or not.
So, Mr. Barr, the statement, the stuff that's been...
Right there. We got one legal advisor, we don't need the other.
Okay, so the public comment is...
That's our trouble, it's you, the rest of it.
Mr. Barr, if I can answer
You
your
got to
question...
stay out of the way.
We give you time to answer your question, Mr. Barr, or are we going to interrupt you? You want to answer, Mr. Barr, or you want to spout off?
I would say we're doing the meeting at 1 o'clock. I can't hear it say. So settle it now.
I just think we need to settle. Yes, Brian?
For months now, we've heard that we need to have legal counsel. We've had a chance here for legal counsel. She's tried to give us some guidance, which is best for her. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like it's going to work. I would like to pull my nomination as chairman.
Thank you, Brian.
Mr. Bowman can have the new. This is for the better good of the county. Bobby will do a great job. This is for the better good of the county. Nicole, I would like for you to still research this and see if we were doing things correctly, please, and give us an update. But I think this is for the better good of the county. Bob will do a great job. Congratulations. Let's continue.
I'd like to nominate Mark Bennett for vice chairman. Got a motion on the floor. Oh,
I'd like to rescind my motion to
I'd like to nominate Mark Bennett for vice chairman.
Kenny? Truck's going off. Your truck's going off. Your truck's going off, Kenny.
Celebrating in the park.
Mr. Chairman, before we get into this big argument again on the nomination and election of a vice chairman, do we need to vote on the suspension of the rule for remote voting? This is a question.
It's not on the agenda, it's not something we can vote on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd make a motion that Brian be the vice chair.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? Vice Chair.
We still have one?
Yeah, we have Mark Bennett and Brian Kaufman.
I move that we close.
Second, close, and second?
Second.
I might have figured out who to vote for.
Okay. You're going to tell me Bennett or Kaufman in this roll call vote. Earl Baker. Kenny Barr. Bennett or Kaufman?
Oh, go.
So two votes for Kaufman?
Or do I ask Barb or no?
My opinion is yes. I know there's disagreement. So.
Okay, Barb, Kaufman or Bennett?
Kaufman.
Bennett. Call candidate.
Kaufman.
Brian Kaufman.
Present.
Dennis Durnovich.
Kaufman.
Durbin.
Kaufman.
Gergany.
Kaufman.
Height.
Kaufman.
Lenz. Lyons.
Kaufman.
Metzger.
Kaufman.
Orman.
Kaufman.
Patterson.
Kaufman.
Piercy.
Kaufman.
Poe. Simpson.
Kaufman.
Slifer.
Kaufman.
Switz.
Kaufman.
Tate.
Kaufman.
Williams.
Kaufman.
Kaufman was unanimously voted in. 21 Kaufman.
Move to adjourn.
Hold on. We still have one thing on the order, on the agenda, and that's adoption of the rules of order. You should all have that. I can give it email to you.
Right there.
Is it in the packet?
It was in there. It was in there. Not that packet. It was in their other packet.
Oh, yeah. So this, 21 rules of order that has been, I do believe, common rule of order for years and years, so.
It's not in that one, it's in the one that she sent last week for this board meeting.
That's the one. Just looking for a motion to approve the rules of order.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion that we order of business.
Or the order of business. You're going to second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All in favor, all opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Now, I do believe we should probably open up one more time for public body comment before adjournment.
I just think they're off to a great start working together. It was really refreshing to see it.
Well, if I may say, it's this board, in the last year that I've been on the board, we've lacked direction, we've lacked advice. And I think, looking around, I think we'll be able to come together, we'll get the glued back together and start moving forward. So, by all means, this is the board of 22. We have lots of problems. If everybody digs in a little bit on something, we'll get these problems resolved and we'll start moving forward to a better town. And that's really all I've got to say at this point in time. So, just, yeah, be calling each other if you got questions. There's a phone list floating around there somewhere. If you got questions, call each other, talk to each other. And so, that's all I have to say.
Move to adjourn.
Hold on.
On your agenda for the next meeting, you got chairman appointments. I don't know where that, do you have any idea how those got on there since you didn't have a chairman?
Actually, some of those, well, we have yearly committees, you know.
So reappointments?
So they are reappointments, and then the Drainage District Commissioner was from their attorney.
Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody else? Once, twice. Do I have a motion to adjourn?